Welcome back to the LCS. We do have our MasterCard Player of the Week in FBI from 100 Thieves. Now, I know that when we spoke after your first game that first day, you were talking about wanting to forget about the, quote, embarrassing showing against Dignitas. Do you feel like that was achieved in the 2-0 week?
Yeah, I think we played pretty well in week 1, and we got to show, like, kind of what we're made of, but a bit of a disappointing start to week 2, but we'll bounce back tomorrow.
Yeah, on that note a bit, what were your initial kind of takeaways from this match against IMT when we're still at that stage in the season when things do feel a little up in the air in terms of predictive?
Personally, I think I played pretty terribly in the game, and both me and Huhi, I think, can take a large part of the blame for why we lost the game. And our comp, I don't think we kind of executed our comp correctly. We should have been looking for flanks in the fights, but I feel like we kind of just ran in head first versus a better front-to-back team comp, and we lost.
It's always great to have that critical mindset when looking at the game, but bringing it more on the powerful performance that earned you this accolade when looking at that top level of play. How much do you feel on that same level of what you've had in past seasons that's allowed you to get multiple of these MasterCard Players of the Week? I
think it's pretty early into the season, so it's kind of difficult to say where my form is currently at. Like I said before, I played really bad today, so I'm not going to say that I'm in a good form, but hopefully I can do a lot better tomorrow.
You do have the match against Evil Geniuses. Impact called out that, hey, going to go ahead and lock in that smite in the top lane. Obviously, we'll have to see what actually happens. But what are your thoughts on that upcoming matchup?
I think EG is a pretty strong team. They're really diverse, clearly. Impact plays, he has a really wide champion pool. I think their bot lane is performing pretty well at the moment, but I'm really confident that we'll be able to beat them tomorrow.
Well, FBI, thank you so much for stopping by. Congrats again on getting to rock that pose once more and bring another statue home.
Thank you.
It's time for us to head on over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, LeTigress. MasterCard Player of the Week for last week's performance, FBI is, but not happy with his performance just yesterday in the loss. Still believes, though, and is still confident they'll take down EG while respecting what is the matchup ahead of them. And I think that's where we got to start. FBI, huhi, of course, one of the top bot lanes in the LCS, but you look over to the other side, Danny and Vulcan, they're no slouches either.
Yep, and 100 Thieves is the type of team, we already saw it after lock-ins. When they take a loss, they take it hard. They come back even stronger, and so it's going to be able to fun to see how they're able to perform after week 1, or especially after the loss they had just yesterday. And so, yeah, focus is going to be on bot lane. FBI has been incredible on his Aphelios gameplay. Danny on the other side, we've talked about the pentakills. He's just been good in the system that Evil Geniuses have. When they're setting up for dives, he's there and, you know, kind of ready to help out. I remember actually the Chompers play. This is literally it. When they were setting up, you know, Ari didn't know, but the Chompers was holding them back. You couldn't back away in that situation, and Danny was helping out there.
I'll let that roll out.
Boom.
Boom, there it is. He's a nice guy to boot. We'll see if they can take down or take on the 100 Thieves bot lane today. But while we've been taking a time all throughout the 2022 split to look back at some historical matchups, I wanted to do the same just here. But for that, we go to the top lane matchup. It's Ssumday versus Impact. Let's take a stroll down memory lane, Jad, all the way to 2018, my friend.
These guys have been playing against each other in NA for so long.
A lot, and a lot of time.
Yeah, so back in 2018, spring finals, they played against each other. This was actually Impact's first title. I think it's so cool as well that Ssumday is coming off his first title here. So I also think there's an interesting conversation to be had about the type of top laners they have both been in the LCS here, because so when Impact initially joined Team Liquid, Kane was the coach, and he was a former pro support player. So he wanted the top laner who really understood just the map from the top lane. And then I think Ssumday, we even heard in the latest replay files, when he first came to North America, he also couldn't really communicate with his teammates that well, so he had to play a soloist style. So both these guys across the last, like, 5 years have done such an amazing job being that rock in the top lane for their teams.
And looking at this statistically, it's super interesting how close they are in everything but wins. And again, in this head-to-head, a lot of it is because Impact was on, I believe, C9 and TL for a lot of these, while 100 Thieves were slumping a bit at times. But like the jungle proximity for them is pretty close and negligible. They both tend to play weak side most of the time. Their CS is like negligible.
Yeah.
Their isolated deaths is really interesting.
Really close.
I feel bad because
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 of those for Impact came in the same game. You know, that definitely didn't help that stat.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like the wins are the thing that you point out. Past the recency of 100 Thieves' success, the highest 100 Thieves has gone, which is like Spring Finals, I think 2018. Team Liquid is the team that we're at the top,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's always fun to be able to see that Ssumday is now on the opposite side of things, where 100 Thieves is the team that's having the larger success. They're coming off a championship. Ssumday, this split has actually performed quite well in his weak side position. So for both top laners, you get to rarely talk about them because they're the solid rock on the team that's playing weak side, that are trying to hold off from getting dove and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do in this game up against each other.
Yeah, both teams sitting at 2-1. And while Impact is a long-time LCS vet, he's not afraid to admit that there are some things he just doesn't know.
There's a lot of back and forth, which makes sense with the new strategy, right? So what is the greatest difficulty in getting the victory, especially when it's so close like it was in the end of this one?
I mean, it's not, to me, bored, even mid, because I don't know what I did. I just give shield. But, I just want to rely on both top lane freeze, I'm just, like doing freeze both top,
Coming out of that, I think it's really funny because even though he said, that I didn't know what I was doing on the Karma, he has played it in solo queue. So it was really interesting to see that come out from him. And it's like similar, but a slight deviation, I guess, in how he's helping the team. Interestingly enough, he is also only 3 assists away from getting 3,000 assists.
It's huge. I mean, we already talked about the longevity of both these players, and for Impact, who's been in the league for so long, to be so close to 3,000, it's a huge accomplishment. 5th, as you can already see there in the standings. And I mean, for me, this split kind of goes back to the willingness of trying new things.
Yeah.
The Karma is that one point, but also the Tryndamere being able to play more carries.
Yep.
We've always had conversations about Impact expanding that role on the team of being able to play more things, and it helps evil geniuses in the long run if they get into a best of 5s that they're willing to play not just through bot lane or jojopyun, but be able to play through Impact. So it's nice to be able to see that, especially so early in.
I would have a hard time believing he doesn't get those 3 assists here to make that.
He's gonna do it
in
Let's
this game,
go.
especially if he goes with the Karma in the top lane. Flowers and Kobe are standing by to take things over here in game 3 of the day. Gents, enjoy.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for our 3rd game, as you just heard. Number 2 was quite a banger there, so I'm hoping we get to continue some of that for the rest of the
I don't care what anyone tries to tell me. I love games like that. It's so exciting in the late game, having the uncertainty of constant throws and comebacks and the late game objectives, that pressure. Everybody can relate to that pressure, even if you're just playing solo queue games at home. When you get to the late stages and one mistake, one kill in these team fights could be the end.
Hey, what can I say? I'm a fan of the base race scenarios. Those just have a special place in my heart. I always look forward to seeing those explosive finales down to the wire. But man, 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses here. This is a hype matchup, man. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely top of the table here for LCS. Definitely big performers on both sides. Excited to see, especially for me, this jungle matchup. This is best jungler coming over from the TCL, closer last year's finals MVP versus also last year's LEC MVP inspired. Absolute clash of champions here in the jungle. Super excited to get into it. Should probably be similar champion pools for them. Right now, Zeri and Gwen, to me, are permabans on red side. Been saying for the whole weekend, and it has been true a lot of these cases. We have not seen Gwen creep back in.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot of these things, the trends coming from Champions queue. Meanwhile, blue side has a lot more luxury. You can go for some target bans, or you can go with whittling down, especially the bottom lane has been very, very prominent here. You can manage to leverage here. Both Aphelios and Caitlyn, EG are trying to get a Jinx trade here. So it's denied in the end by 100 Thieves, But that means you're leaving up the big mid lane picks.
Yeah.
The Rise, also the top lane picks here for both solo lanes. So Ssumday and Impact, the analyst stats, I really liked how they went over the history of these two players. So much time Impact was on TL versus Ssumday. But they are no strangers to trading over red side picks here. So I do expect 100 Thieves to hold that one, the flex, until much later. But I did like dropping the extra ban here to deny the jinx what EG were trying to leverage.
And hey, you were talking about you're excited for the junglers. With all these AD carries banned out, jungle is the priority pick here on blue side first pick, and Zhao is locked in for Inspired.
Definitely good performances thus far from Inspired. Such a good early play-making champion. Doesn't give away anything about the direction that EG are going for. I know that their coaching staff has been on almost a crusade on social media. They've been talking about playing, support roaming tops as a protest, basically, to get it looked at and nerfed quicker. And Impact has done his part too, in Champions Queue. He's also played the Ivern top. He's played a bunch of those support roaming tops. So it's still very much in the cards for them. Meanwhile, though, 100 Thieves pick up one of the sleeper OPs, Senna bottom lane here. Very excited to see what they do pair it with. We are on 12.3 though, so they are adjusting the souls back down, and Closer gets the Jarvan. So much potential here for especially mid lane gigs. Closer has definitely been 1 to 10 more towards fully clearing, getting to his level 3s very quickly. But, Jarvan always leaves open that opening for level 2 ganks, red into EQ combinations if you want to get really spicy.
And Ezreal's going to get locked in as the AD carry here for Evil Geniuses. When you see Jarvan on the other side, having an AD carry with such an easily accessible escape for those EQ ganks early on for the Cataclysms later feels really good. Zilean being hovered, we'll wait and see if that gets locked in. We did, of course, get to see Fudge play it earlier. Normally this is, if we're talking about solo laners, it was kind of just a Bjergsen pick, but then Fudge breaks it out. Tahm Kench instead going to be locked in here. So that's going to be Evil Geniuses' first half of the draft. What's 100 Thieves going to respond with?
It's very interesting because if I see an Ezreal Tahm Kench, I immediately want a roaming support because Ezreal Tahm Kench is ungankable. That is such a defensive bottom lane here, and EG kind of denying the Senna TK combination that is so popular. Nice little hover over the Sett, and they actually lock in the Sett for huhi. He said, he played poorly last game along with FBI. He definitely took that one on himself, but he was very ready to reprove himself. I like it. He gets right back up on that Sett, playing it into the Tahm Kench again, where he showed, at least before in the lane phase, they played this exact matchup of the, at least supports, Sett into Tahm Kench, and he still was doing very well in these trades. So despite the recent buffs to TK's durability for lane phase, he still is able to do the same W trades and have the last laugh there as far as the extra shields that come through. So this means we're going to have all our bans saved for the solo lanes, baby.
Oh, yes, sir. And that first ban from 100 Thieves here in the second half will be the Rise that we've been seeing gain that popularity. Evil Geniuses now get a chance to respond, and their ban is going to be Azir.
Interesting, too, because on 12.3, we've got the extra nerf to LeBlanc. So LeBlanc priority has plummeted, but in talking to some of the mid laners, they still have priority if you want to go for the kill mid-jungle duo. So I'm very, very curious to see if you want to invest in that. It's definitely got a lower cap than it previously did. Also doesn't scale as well as if you're going to go with one of these normal control mages like we see getting all banned out here. Viktor would be the last one, by the way, if you wanted to collect all 4 of the super common AP mid range scaling champions for themselves. So let's see, what's it going to be? The Ahri instead,
the new hotness.
I would blind the Viktor then. Give you really, really good scaling, but both teams have been flirting around with the possibilities of solo lane enchanters.
100 Thieves. What will it be?
Okay.
All right. I would also expect Viktor to get locked in here. Like I'm not really even going to talk about the Zilean hover there on that one.
That's my expectation, but you don't know.
Well, they got it. All right. So it'll be Abbedagge on the Viktor here. But with all these other bans, what do you want to see into this?
Honestly, now I'm kind of edging more towards kill threat. Viktor is always the champion that you're willing to to throw down right now, especially, that says, hey, I'm going to scale. What are you going to do about it? And with Corki being banned out, the ones that are going to scale alongside him are kind of taken off the board. So it then becomes, how are you actually going to kill me? How are you actually going to get advantages before I am 2-3 item Viktor?
Well, the answer is Akali from the side of Evil Geniuses. jojopyun going to be on that, while Graves will be the final pick of the draft. Impact will not have to worry about just putting a shield on somebody this time around. No, sir. He'll be picking up the 12 game.
I am so excited. I started smiling as soon as I saw the hover over here for Akali, because JoJo's Akali talked up so much. I'm very, very excited to see it played on stage here. And it also means that EG have a very strong 1-3-1 setup for themselves. Good answer here from 100 Thieves to lock in the Tryndamere. Tryndamere's been gaining so much more priority as far as answering some of the 1-3-1, split pushing options. So 100 Thieves can do a 4-1, have Tryndamere try and push in on one of the sides, collect one of the 1v1s, get that momentum back in their favor. EG though, really, really, really want to spread this map. They've got Akali plus Graves being able to push out side lanes, and super, super safe Ezreal TK, which you can move from the mid lane to anywhere. You've got global ultimate from Ezreal to add damage, or a semi-global movement around from some of the deep vision that they can try and leverage early on.
Alrighty, my friends, it's just about time to hop into it. Evil Geniuses versus 100 Thieves. Here we go. I love the light shows. I always get a kick out of the light shows, man. All right, but now I'm looking at the show here on Summoner's Rift. Our last game, explosive, exciting, punches back and forth all the way to the end. And for these two teams, I'm looking for a similar vibe, man. This is not, we're not in the old school era of LCS. Ah, yes, we'll see you at 45 minutes. It's time to just scale. I want to see some of this nice action-packed early game, some playmaking coming out.
I'm definitely with you on that one. I'm mainly going to be looking at closer first on this Jarvan to track his early path. Looks like they're trending towards starting on the top side, since Graves and Tryndamere both have double mobility summoners. It is really hard to find any efficient effect on that top lane, because something as little as the ghost being popped by one of the sides is not worth your time as a jungler in the early game. So unless Impact or Ssumday is able to get one or both of the summoners out of the other one, definitely expect these junglers to be looking towards the bottom side of the map, the bottom triangle there. So not going to be a big surprise. Looks like they will secure both top side starts for these two junglers. But whenever you match a Tryndamere, it's always this kind of arms race of mobility.
Yep.
And the biggest, scariest part of Tryndamere is when he has more mobility than you. So that's why everyone has started trending towards taking Ghost in response to the Tryndamere's taking Ghost, so that you can try and responsively do it. And also, people have gotten pretty good at turning back around when you're expecting the mocking shout, the chicken over your head from Tryndamere for the slow. And Impact should be able to control wave early on, but Ssumday trying to get access to the minions and trying to charge up that rage bar.
And of course, that's what it's all about here early on when you're laning against the Tryndamere. The rage is what gives him the crit. The rage is what's going to empower his heals as well. The more you can deny that access to the wave, the better of a time you're going to have. Back here in mid lane, Abbedagge's got the early shove up against jojopyun, who we all know that Akali does not exactly have the greatest early presence in the lane.
Exactly. Lovingly referred to as a tadpole before level 6, before you get to evolve into the frog, where you can actually jump, and the frog on bot side is actually going in.
Yeah, speaking of frogs, man, Vulcan and Danny using the power of the Kench there. I already know I'm going to get a couple.
Yeah, it's a catfish. We know, but it looks like a frog, and the memes are better.
That's true. true. The frog memes are better. But down here in bottom lane, it's not going to turn into a whole lot just yet. FBI still sitting on that perfect 0 CS as huhi does all the farming here nice and early.
Perfect 0,
Perfect
baby.
0. Pairs nicely with yesterday's perfect 8.
I love me the perfect 0. I also love huhi. He's getting right back up on that Sett horse. I know we touched on it a little bit in Champ Select, but you know, when you have bad games like that, huhi is a veteran player. He is no stranger to fans jumping on the bandwagon or flaming him incessantly from his time as a mid laner as well, when he was so invested in roaming. And he's unperturbed. He's gonna get right back on the set. This has been historically one of his most impactful support champions. Yesterday, poor choices on his engages, and they recognize it though, and they've done the review here for 100 Thieves, so I want to see if they can correct it. Definitely looking at the possibilities of coming in from flanks instead, as they mentioned.
And one of my favorite ways that I've heard people phrase it before when looking at losing or failing or anything like that is the master has failed more times than the student ever tried. So it's very important for these guys to be able to just look at a situation and say, yeah, that sucked, but why did it suck and how can we make that better? I love seeing that kind of attitude, the growth mindset that allows you to just take those losses and turn them into more wins down the road. Inspired's up here in top.
Yeah, luckily for the review for 100 Thieves too, it didn't take long to figure out why did that suck.
Yeah, hey, sometimes it's easier than others.
Ran straight headlong into him and died 100% to 0.
Okay, well,
that's why it sucked.
Hey, we found the problem, we've isolated it, let's fix it. Easy enough.
Slap a Band-Aid on that sucker.
Yeah,
Abbedagge,
no problem.
Abbedagge gonna keep on trying to utilize the advantage over Akali while he's got it though, because JoJo's actually done quite a good job keeping up in the farm. We did see him miss the 1 melee there due to slight difference in timing on the auto attack, but he's approaching his level 6 and he still has his teleport. This is the key thing. If you don't get pushed out early before you have to use your teleport for your back first, for Akali, things are going just fine for him. Little bit down in CS is going to be manageable.
So also want to point something out here, just for those who aren't aware. You saw Ssumday spin in there and then use the mocking shout on impact right as he arrived. Remember, it's not just a slow, it's an attack damage reduction too. Very, very useful against these AD champions. Ssumday's after him. He gets the flash, he gets the ghost. That's what you were talking about earlier, Kobe. Both summoners down. This is now a target for the jungle.
Exactly. The chickens gets you an extra summoner spell there, so impact loses out on the early aggression. This changes the state of the map. I love when we have little trades and little things like that while they don't result in a kill, actually do result in how you want to play the map. And since we haven't seen much from either jungler, because these lanes have such good utility and such good escape routes in all of the lanes,
right
now we get to elevate that matchup we were talking about in Champ Select. Closer, finals MVP from last year versus inspired LEC MVP jungler coming over. Now's the time where they actually will get to affect the map. And Closer immediately wants to be able to set up this river. Love this early step from both teams. They've got support roam timers, and that's the first critical time of the map. Trying to work with your support, gain that early vision so you can actually make some of these, roaming plays. huhi sweeps out Tribrush while Closer handles the top side of the river here, and 100 Thieves secure all vision quite nicely with their 850 or so gold lead.
Yeah, I was going to point out that gold lead because you're talking about how, hey, it's difficult to gank these lanes. There's a lot of defense tools. There's a lot of utility here. But 100 Thieves are the ones coming out on top in this sort of stalemate, no big PvP action type of game. So if the pace stays like this, they're fine with it, at least for now.
Yep, and as we were saying, it's going to change how you play the game. There is now a big blinking red light on top lane. No summoner spells on impact. Ssumday has Tryndamere ultimate as well, so it's one of the big tools for trying to create dives. But whenever you're looking at creating dives, there's a couple of steps you have to do beforehand. One is going to be build up your big minion wave for that matchup, which Ssumday actually should be able to handle. But the other one is trying to get movement from one of your other positions. Jungle is the easiest one. Closer will be seen. Chickens lands for Ssumday, but they haven't been able to unlock any of the other lanes. And so then it becomes a little bit risky. It's kind of a dice roll as far as being able to track the opponent jungle to ensure that you can actually pull this play off. Otherwise, Inspired will be looking for the counter.
That's exactly the name of the game, right? A play that looks good can quickly turn very bad if we don't account for all the possible factors here. But we do have JoJo, having spent that teleport, now level 7. You were talking earlier about Akali being the tadpole, so let me ask you, when does she fully become the frog? Is it now that she has level 6? Do we need to see the first item online? Where are we?
Yeah, well, we're going to be taking a look at another frog here as they go for the invade. As soon as she gets to level 6, though, I like the analogy because the frogs jump, and you've got your dash. So,
okay, all right.
The E shuriken doesn't really count. That's a little tadpole wiggle
okay.
instead. But
the E is a wiggle, the R is a jump.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly. Blue secured, though, 400 Thieves in exchange for the dragon. This is the deep vision we are trying to talk about. The early ward that they pushed in for sees this exchange. So they threaten a couple of these objectives and are willing to set up the trade. Yes, you can secure your blue buff for Abbedagge for this Viktor, but we also still have deep vision to cut him off from mid lane, so he can't even use this blue buff that you just traded for the Ocean Drake. Cannon dying to the tower in mid lane right now, and he's not going to be able to get back there in time.
Oh, but we might have a play yet. Huhi goes there for the face breaker. He will not find the scuttle crab to get the stun onto Vulcan. Closer's now going to be focused. He's already down. Evil geniuses get one for free. They can disengage the rest of the fight. Ssumday's coming in for JoJo. He'll spin in. He gets 2 auto attacks. Nothing more. Nicely done. EG.
That's not your mama's tadpole, Flowers. That is a full-fledged frog getting the kill. First blood for JoJo. This is the ideal way to start it out for EG. Some money on the assassin. Early purchase of the Sork shoes, so he's got the flat penetration for it. Bottom side, though, action.
Huhi's coming in. Tries to go for the play yet again. This time going to get the stun on the face breaker. However, Vulcan can still walk away with half HP left. And you were hyping up this JoJo Akali, talking about like the rumors, man. You've heard the tall tales being told. Well, hey, starting off with that kill really sets him up in a great spot to be able to continue making those moves and being the carry for this squad.
The other thing I really like with JoJo is when he starts having a really good game, you can tell he's feeling himself because he starts spamming the emotes. So
yes!
After he secured that kill, and he still had flash the entire time, just walking away, the emotes start to come out. If he gets a couple more, it's gonna get dirty.
I am ready for the emote game. It's one of my favorite things they ever added to pro play. It is just the best. Everfrost completed in the mid lane. Here for Abbedagge on the Viktor. A very defensive option there to be able to provide some extra lockdown. If the Graves gets close, if the Zhao dives him, if the Akali dives him. Just some extra control there in the fight. Ssumday's going in. Uses the Ghost to chase after Impact, who gets back underneath the turret. Does not use his summoner spell until the very last second there. Impact now activating the Ghost. So both of those are down. Flash is still up, and Ssumday's shoving in the wave. He does have the rest of his team nearby at the Herald Pit. 100 Thieves should be able to secure this one. I don't think EG has anything to say about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of this little guy right down there. They make the commitment that, okay, 100 Thieves, you pull off the early lane swap, force on this Herald, and we keep Danny on bottom side of the map, pushing away. He's got a tier down there, so he's stacking his tier while still pushing the minion wave in and trying to get some money off the turret plates. They do best because Huhi's got an extra teleport on the team, though. The Sett teleport down to bottom side to make sure that it's kept at only a single plate instead of 2.
Exactly. Got to limit everything you possibly can there that's going to be traded back and forth. 2 minutes until our next dragon spawns. Remember, the first one did go over to Evil Geniuses here as well. You can see, although we might have that Everfrost completed on the Viktor, nobody else really hitting those mythic items just yet. Top lane is a ranged versus melee matchup, which pretty much always means an arms race to tier 2 boots. But everybody's still contesting one another down here in this bottom side river. The war for vision is constant and never ending, my friend.
It certainly is, and it's going to become much, much more impactful as we move on. Because thinking about yesterday and this comparison of Huhi getting back on the Sett, one of the biggest problems was the engage is going straight up front to back right into the opponent team and him getting bursted out at the dragon fight and in the mid lane. But this time with the teleport, when that becomes unleashed, their vision game will turn into opportunities for him to find a teleport for a flank so he can come in from the backside. And whenever Sett gets to dunk someone from the opposite side into the rest of the team, that's where you set up those advantageous situations. 100 Thieves, though, take the opportunity to push in deep into the jungle. Good recovery here from EG, though, to be able to defend. And feels nice for Inspired. Can just finish the one up himself. Rift Herald activated, though, is going to leave a mark.
Yep, Rift Herald's going to get the guaranteed 2 plates. Not much else. It's not like they've coordinated a big push on this to try to take the full tier 1 turret or anything. They are going to guarantee they get the 2-plate value. We're only a minute away from the plates falling, so they didn't have a whole lot of time left to work with.
Yeah. I will say a little bit on the blue buff point, too. All junglers, whenever you see, you know, like an energy champ, you usually like to take all the blues for yourselves. But Akali actually does make very good use out of it because her energy costs get insane for later, and if you give her a late game blue buff, can turn into a bit more of a fearsome frog. Frog with the machine gun attached to it.
A frog with a ninja star machine gun. All right, fair enough. Vulcan's gonna get locked up there by the Senna. 100 Thieves gonna bring their jungler down here to bottom lane, but not a lot to be found. Vulcan and Danny can get away in time. You mentioned back in Champ Select, Ezreal, Tahm, Kench is not a bot lane that it's easy to make plays on.
Yeah.
And they can just walk it off.
But if you can push them out and try and get your first move into the river, then you can get your objective anyway. So 100 Thieves commits Ssumday down to the bottom side of the map. He walks all the way through mid to ensure that they can get this dragon, push out Evil Geniuses before he tries to walk his way back up to the top side. He knows Akali does not push very quickly, not nearly as quickly as Graves does.
Oh, Danny forced to flash there to get away from FBI and Huhi, but they keep on chasing. Danny heals now, but a teleport comes in. FBI and Huhi popping a heal of their own. Vulcan could be ready to cut him off. He tries to go for the voyage, and he knocks up 2. FBI's back over the wall. Vulcan shot to pieces from the railgun of FBI. Huhi tries to get away. Haymaker comes out, and the shield keeps him alive. Graves' ulti finds him, but doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's Vulcan for nothing. 100 Thieves are on the board.
100 Thieves absolutely just stole this entire play. This is with them switching Ssumday back to top side, Flowers. Yes, they evaded getting killed. They also got to kill themselves and got free farm for split pushing Tryndamere on top side of the map, and he's done with the turret.
Oh my goodness,
Hullbreaker.
2,000 gold lead almost off of this one.
The Hullbreaker completed. Tryndamere makes quick work of the tower. And now how are you going to rein in this Tryndamere as the game moves forward? You've got 2 split pushers yourselves, and yet you're going to have such a difficult scenario regaining map control. 100 Thieves just took such a massive outplay. They evade the teleport gank on bottom side here as FBI flashes over the wall, then gains distance for his ultimate. Dunk back into the team this time. Huhi, we're looking at his set once again. Then he moved up. He got the stun on the clapback between Impact and Tahm Kench. Definitely say it's looking a lot better this time, Flowers.
Oh boy, my friends. 100 Thieves, they know how to play the game. They know how to make it interesting. And this Tryndamere is a problem. The Hullbreaker, remember the item is going to empower him not only with extra damage to the turrets, it buffs up the minions, it gives him extra armor and magic resistance. And that's important too when you're up against an assassin because of the way flat pen works. The closer you are to 0 in your resistances, the stronger the penetration is. So that means you'll be able to do better against something like JoJo, who can quickly put a lot of damage into just about anybody. Huhi tries to get away, but man, he got sliced and diced all over the bottom lane.
This game just keeps delivering. Good previous play from Huhi in the river with the team, but JoJo wants to one-up him, goes for the solo, gets it. He's level 11 Akali, invested his flash and ultimate for that.
Hey, it worked though.
So you're still going to give away mid-pressure to the push, but it worked, and it means he gets the push out on bottom side of the map. This is going to be the hardest problem for EG to deal with now.
Okay.
Minions, wave control, Flowers. Now we need another iteration of your meme from yesterday. It's going to be a lot about wave control for EG because you're playing into 100 Thieves that have Viktor, who can clear any lane that he's stationary in. And Turbo ahead, solo farming Ssumday here with the Hullbreaker on Tryndamere with double mobility summoners. So Ssumday will be the most annoying split pusher because Tryndamere already is very mobile.
Right.
But with double mobility summoners, Ghost Flash, and the Hullbreaker, it will be a constant nuisance.
Yeah, the idea of punishing this just seems so insurmountable. It's like, okay, we got to get through his spin, we got to get through his ult, we got to get through both summoner spells. If he's alone, he has these extra defensive properties. There's layers and layers and layers to these defenses here for Ssumday as Evil Geniuses. They're trying to respond to what 100 Thieves are moving about here in the top half of the map. It is going to be an engage from Closer. They find their way onto the enemy jungler. Inspired gets away using the ulti, but the True Shot Barrage comes through onto 3. Jojo's going to be stuck. He's in the middle of everybody, but Vulcan's able to gobble him up and take him away to safety. Ssumday leads the charge as Closer comes right back in. Ssumday gets the kill on Vulcan. 100 Thieves find the enemy support and make their play.
And the Evil Geniuses are lucky we're so early in the game that there's no Baron. We're only 18 minutes in, and they're already going to be knocking at your inhibitor turret door. Rift Herald used on the top side. There's a lot of money here in these secondary towers now. Remember, in the preseason, the gold got inflated on the side lane turrets especially. Good job there by Ssumday. Walks back into range. This is an error that we see even at pro level from a lot of teams, and the split pushers not getting local gold from the towers dying.
Got to be in the right zip code, but Vulcan was not in the right zip code on this one. He was in very far away lands, but it was Inspired who got picked off first.
Truly was, and then you see with the ult coming over the top, there's so much control through these small corridors from 100 Thieves. They've got Viktor ult and Senna ult is a just giant do not pass move here from them. Vulcan gets burned down in the chase, but such a good initiation to start it out. They get Inspired's ultimate out and they force Vulcan to the back side so early on that this EG comp is going to have such a difficult time getting back into this game. So they want to force something early here. They want to create some variability.
Okay, EG, they've got that Drake down to half HP. Ssumday's still here on the front. Ssumday has no ulti. There is still a quarter of the timer remaining. The Dragon's going to go over to Evil Geniuses with Danny. jojopyun's into the back. He's going to apply the pressure onto FBI. He keeps on chasing, but he won't find the 5-point strike. Ssumday's trying to get away still. No ulti. Closer gets the kill on Jojo. That's going to make this a 1-for-1. Both mid laners dead right now. Ssumday still waiting on the ult. Almost has it ready to go, but the rest of the team needs to disengage. Health bars are critical.
And I love the ideology behind the play from EG. They don't want to wait for 100 Thieves to gain control of minion waves, so they force on the objective. Really clutch plays from them. When you boil it down to these couple of seconds, getting the dragon as well as finding the extra kill here, even though it was a very good defensive maneuver from FBI and Huhi to get just outside of the range of jojopyun, the Akali almost assassinating him.
Oh, nice save from Vulcan as he gets himself and his AD carry away. Now 100 Thieves, are they too extended? Oh, it's Evil Geniuses putting a lot of hurt into Huhi. He'll get away with 100 HP. FBI with barely any more. I like the fact that they went for it, but EG was ready to go. Vulcan's snap reaction there on the Cataclysm to save Danny.
Yeah, nice little escape. And again, you're always going to have to, after a play, turn your eyes towards the split pushing. Ssumday during the time moves another minion wave up to this turret, and Impact constantly knows he's going to have something to go pick up here. So he gets down to bottom side in time to save the bottom turret, picks up most of the minion wave as well. Danger avoided and still picked up the extra gold. So check marks here for EG. They've done a very good job here to ride this mid-game wave that 100 Thieves set up, even though they're still facing a 3,000 gold lead.
Right.
And it's going to get difficult as far as allocating to some of these lanes. They want to try and get an early head start on it.
Every time the game has these split pushers in it, specifically a champion that is designed solely for split pushing like Tryndamere, it just raises the floor for the level of communication and coordination you have to play against.
And I just love the build from Ssumday too. After rushing the Hull Breaker into the Gale Force, this is my favorite Tryndamere item because it
more mobility.
Yeah, it can also be used in so many creative ways. It could be used in the split push. It can even be used in the team fight to go for executes, going for offensive plays. And builds right in to the crit playstyle that he's going to go for later as we move on. You can see he finishes up his split pushing duties. He's also not afraid to rotate to the rest of the team since Baron is up, and there's a long time before they have to worry about bottom side again. Since they took the bottom turret, that objective is gone. Dragon's not up for another 2.5 minutes, so you just use all of your control wards over the top side, over Baron, and try and force EG into one of these dangerous plays.
And you can see how dark that map is for EG right now. The vision is nowhere to be found, and 100 Thieves are loving this state of the game. Make EG respond. Make EG have to face check. Danny will just continue trying to step up and clear out some of these waves. But we're now seeing some of that Viktor wave clear that you were talking about earlier, where, hey, set this up, have Ssumday in the side. You can have anybody anywhere you need as long as Viktor is there to clear the pressure of evil geniuses.
Exactly. And I think it's just a bit more safe of a game for 100 Thieves. EG still have some ways to actually pull out a victory. It's just that those ways are way more difficult to pull off because they're all skill-based here. Yeah, Danny can try and find some poke with Ezreal, and JoJo is trying to look for these assassination angles. But if 100 Thieves do a good job in managing their ward lines here and continually have Ssumday constant lane of pressure on the side lane to set them up, they should be able to take away a lot of these opportunities from evil geniuses. Let's see if they can actually keep it up.
All right, we've got 1 minute until our next Drake is alive. Remember, it is an Infernal Rift, an Infernal Soul, a very, very powerful tool to stack towards. Evil geniuses will be at soul point if they can get the next one, but 100 Thieves are recognizing how important this is. They're already heading down here. 45 seconds left. They want to get there early, clear out any vision, set up some of their own, and make sure they're the first ones there ready to respond to whatever EG might cook up.
All right, fish around for some poke, try and use that range. You've got FBI Senna trying to get some fog of war positioning over here. You can see on your screen, trying to find some snares. Danny trying to get some minion wave push in mid lane before they rotate through to the dragon. And you can see on your minimap, they've actually now opted to send JoJo to answer the split push from Ssumday instead. They need some more levels on him. Ssumday currently is the king of the split pushers, level 15 for himself. With the constant pressure off of the hull breaker and side lane control. 100 Thieves have done a good job swapping him back and forth, and now they set themselves up for this Infernal Drake. Push mid first, then rotate through the river here. JoJo already looking for the deep, deep flank.
But Ssumday is ready to join the rest of the team. FBI takes a lot of damage there, heals back up to a little bit over half. JoJo sitting in the brush. Ssumday's gonna find him right there, and now he's ready to go. Smoke already used by JoJo. That is a massive team fighting tool here for the Akali. He does not want to be in the mix of everybody without that to protect him. 100 Thieves now seeing that that is not available on cooldown here for at least a few more seconds. They're gonna go in, start up the Drake. Closer's already in control. Inspired is nearby, can go for the 50-50 if he really wants to YOLO this, but considering it's only Drake number 2 for 100 Thieves, you don't want to throw the game away like that. Drakes are all tied up 2-2.
Honors go to Ssumday. The key point, marking the Akali. He was going for this deep flank. Ssumday knows he just cleared this bottom wave. He's got to be down here somewhere. Sweeper finds him and gets the ultimate out. So you see immediately after this cooldown is blown, there's no way EG have that skill factor, that surprise factor to win a fight. If they don't have, JoJo assassinating someone in the backside, they're not going to be able to take this. So ultimate burned by Ssumday, the main critical play that earns them this dragon, that takes away any possibility here for evil geniuses. They have to immediately call off all pressure around it. And honestly, I just think this game has been played so well by Ssumday.
And it's one of those things that I really love praising because it's something that you have to balance very carefully as a split pusher. You've got to be able to be selfish enough to succeed as a side laner, to succeed as a 1v1 threat, and to know, hey, team, you need to just do your own job and I'll do mine. But you also have to discern those moments where it's right to move over and it's right to help. And that's what Ssumday did. He can recognize that. He can find those opportunities and make it count in moments like that where, hey, he didn't kill anybody. He didn't have any huge 999,999 damage crit. He just smacked Akali once or twice, got the smoke, got the ult, see ya.
Yeah, exactly. Found the assassin, burned the cooldowns, and back to my job. Split pushing away.
I'll be in bottom lane if you need me. Give me a call. That's all you got to do, man. Ssumday the guy is so experienced at League of Legends. It's always fun to watch him play. But it's 100 Thieves, still with a 3,000 gold lead, almost 27 minutes into the game now. We're seeing a lot of items come online for everybody. And I got to hit on this because we've been talking about Tryndamere's mobility the entire time, my friend. Navori Quickblade. You thought he was spinning before, the man might as well be a Beyblade now.
Yeah, he's definitely an absolute boss in this game. He's going to go for another exchange. He can even win these trades and then immediately retreat, heal right back up. Impact going to have a hard time dealing. He pretty much just has to catch waves. And this is what we're talking about. One of the big problems emerging for evil geniuses is you have to find the victory in some sort of mechanical or vision outplay on your opponent team, it's going to be very difficult for you to handle all of the pressure that 100 Thieves are putting out. Because if you look at the top side, Abba, even without the teleport, Viktor is afforded the luxury of going up and pushing that lane as well.
Oh, man. All right, we've got the Baron on the map. We've got 100 Thieves still controlling everything. Closer takes some good poke from Danny there, and I feel like it's up to Danny to hit a lot of these types of things to dissuade 100 Thieves from moving up and controlling more of the map. Because I'm not going to lie to you, Kobe, it feels a little suffocating right now for Evil Geniuses trying to find places to move and breathe here in this current state of the game.
Certainly does. They're going to try and turn the tides here with some vision play. Like a true assassin, work through the shadows there.
Exactly. It's like one of those video game levels where you have to stay out of the spotlights. They swoop back and forth. Yeah. Make sure you don't get hit by the spotlight. If the exclamation mark comes up over the enemy's head, you got saw.
That's exactly what happened with Ssumday. He was like, ding, 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 sweeper on, exclamation point, found the assassin, chased him out of the fight. Jojo looking for his level 16. Oh, are they going to give him the blue like we were hoping? Yes.
Yep.
Machine Gun Frog is active.
All right, Machine Gun Frog Ninja Woman is ready to go, and we'll see if Jojo can pilot that through a team fight for a victory for Evil Geniuses. He still needs one more level to get that level 3 ultimate. Him and Abbedagge both at 15, Ssumday and Impact both at 16 here already on these top laners. Danny fires off True Shot Barrage. Just the True Shot Barrage is half of FBI's HP.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have good sources of damage. It's just that the delivery systems for these sources from EG are more difficult to pull off.
They're like a three-wheeled truck. They can get there.
Okay, wait, what?
Three-wheeled truck. It's a truck with 3 wheels.
Did they make those, or is that because of an accident?
No, the wheel fell off. Okay. It's because the truck is not properly equipped to deal with the road. That's what I'm going for.
Do we just call this a wheelbarrow at that point?
No, because wheelbarrows have 1 wheel. What? What wheelbarrow has 3 wheels?
Fair enough. don't know my way around wheelbarrows. I'm talking to the right person,
I was
though.
going to say, back in the dirt shoveling days, I was very familiar with the ways of the wheelbarrow. I got you, buddy. I got you. See, you share the League of Legends knowledge. I share the wheelbarrow knowledge. We got the back and forth ready to go. But the back and forth is happening here in mid lane as Evil Geniuses are aware that the next Drake is about to spawn in 15 seconds, but it is still a 100 Thieves flavored Summoner's Rift. They've got the control. They're going to be the ones with first move.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them to start marketing that. 100 Thieves flavor. And honestly, most red flavors are good. Impact's going to taste it.
Oh, yeah. Impact's about to have a bad time unless he can get out of there. Has to use the flash, but he gets away. Stunned up by the gravity well. Closer jumps in and brings down the Cataclysm, but now he's going to use the EQ to get back out. They've got the re-engage coming out from huhi here on the flank as Jojo tries to find the assassination, but now he's into the Zonias himself. Shut down over onto the Ezreal, coming out for Ssumday, and Inspired can't get a damn thing. 100 Thieves just got free, and Inspired just got baited. Double kill back over to Abbedagge, 4 for nothing. 100 Thieves.
Ding, ding, ding. Classes in session. 100 Thieves schooling the Evil Geniuses. Are you kidding me? No man left behind. No thief touches the fountain. Absolutely demolished here across the board, Flowers. Cut the tape. 100 Thieves own this map. You're damn right, it's 100 Thieves flavor. Dragon, team fight, Baron, collect them all.
Oh man, they got the whole kitchen sink with it. Vulcan's about to die here.
Another one.
Abbedagge just steps forward. Zap! He's out of there. What the?
Oh, whoa!
Okay, that was a bad. For a second, I was like, wait, did Abbedagge accidentally click to teleport to the menu? Was that a misclick? But no, Abbedagge goes home. huhi shows up, brings Jojo forward. Now Ssumday's ready to save huhi. Something weird's happening.
We call that one the switcheroo, Flowers.
The old bamboozle.
Teleport out mid laner, teleport in, role swapped old mid laner. huhi just having some fun here, showing up. I like the mentality behind it too. You can tell huhi's always got your back. That's the type of support this man is.
Yeah.
He knows he'll come in. He wanted to defend on that play. He really believed in Abbe. He was like, you know what? We could 2v5 this.
We got this,
Let's
man.
go for it.
You just took out their support. Now I'm going to help. Now you got your support. But honestly, it doesn't turn into a whole lot more, but they're ready to make the moves now. Huhi goes for the play to try to pick off Inspired there, but he's just a little bit too far away. 100 Thieves aren't too worried about it, though. They're going to move forward now. Inspired again, trapped in the Cataclysm. Wind becomes lightning, but it can't keep him alive. Ssumday goes on a killing spree, and he is not stopping. 702 damage, crit, get hit. Ssumday leading the charge.
Ssumday is here to play, Flowers. This man has been immaculate this game. Hats off. This has got to be your MVP. Analyst desk is trolling if we get any other votes. Absolute masterclass here. 100 Thieves are inside the base. All right, Jojo, he's still level 15.
I think we're just about done with this one, Kobe. We got Jojo and Impact trying to defend. 2 versus 5. It's not really gonna happen, I don't think. They lock down Jojo. They're still putting the damage into him. He stays alive there with a smoke. Ssumday finally falls. Shut down credit over to Impact. 100 Thieves backing away now. EG, hold on. They'll get at least one more fight here.
Did we just curse him?
You got a little bit too, too excited there.
I retract my previous statement. Ooh, good looking ultimate as well. You like to see those highlighted bars going over 4 people, but
oh, well, 100 Thieves is happy to re-engage now. Evil geniuses. They thought they might have had him on the run, but they got too careless. Jojo now marks FBI, goes in, immediately pops him. Abbedagge and Huhi staying grouped together along with Closer. They want to make their exit here. Impact and Jojo still looking for any sort of a chance. Jojo has no ulti. He still has everything else here ready to go.
This is so good for EG. They need to make this game dirty. They have to scrounge up some comeback opportunities.
Oh, well, that ain't it. Whatever it was, it is not that. Look up the definition of it in the dictionary, and it's just going to have a picture saying not that. Unfortunate for EG. True Shot Barrage not going to stop the back either.
Okay, you know, I like the drive, though, because again, they have to go for something. Exactly, you have to make this game dirty. So what happens to you and what happens to your brain when you start to get this far behind, your risk tolerance just goes through the roof. So yes, it could be a 2%er, but
the game by itself is a 1%.
You like that 2%er? Yep. 2 is twice as much as a 1% that you previously had, so.
Hey, even I know that, man.
Let's take a look at it. So a good Ezreal ult sets this up, and they know, all right, we got to chase him down. We're not going to get a better setup for it, so they do have the bit of a flank here. And Jojo hits his level 16, so he goes back. He finds the angle on FBI. It was very nice shuriken to be able to finish off that kill. There's so much damage trapped in that E for this ability. A lot of times, that's what you have to rely on when you don't have your ultimate. Then coming up, it's still a fed Viktor. You know, this is level 17 Abba. Bop. He just gets annihilated. So even if you're not on the laser, you can just hit you with the Q. Our front of our desk just straight fell forward, blasted off by this banger.
We're all good. We're all good. Nobody hit their head or anything. Everything's cool. We're all
I wonder if people actually heard that. Did they hear the slam?
Okay, we were just told by producers that producers heard the slam, so the audience probably did too. Don't worry, everything's cool.
100 Thieves are literally knocking the roof off the LCS
Raise
stadium.
the roof, 100 Thieves! All right, let's see how fast they can finish this one, though, because, I mean, hey, it did look like the game was about to end on that last push. Ssumday dying, Impact grabbing the kill. EG stabilizes a little bit longer, but, man, it's about a 10,000 gold difference. The objective bounty goes over to EG, at least.
I love it. You got to keep your head in the game, because this is why objective bounties were implemented, Flowers. You're behind so much that you need help getting back into the game. Commit to the split push, get some more gold. Maybe you'll find some more of these dirty opportunities where you can, scrounge up some kills. If you push this game to 45 minutes, all of a sudden, you also get to max out your inventory in items.
Yep.
Scoreboard will lie to people once they get super late in the game because scoreboard is just gold. And gold is not power. Power is only
gold
when
does no damage.
Exactly. It's only when you turn it into items. So if you can push it super late game and then also find a sneaky kill, a sneaky play in the late game when you can two-shot anybody as Akali, then those are the ways where you can try and pull out the crazy comebacks.
And I mean, we're talking about scaling. You look at Danny, he's almost full build. He only has to complete one more item, and this Ezreal is just at the ceiling. So there's plenty of opportunity here if they can keep the game alive. But 100 Thieves has all the tools they need to keep this accelerating. Inspired just getting picked off here. The Haymaker comes through. Support from the rest of the team is there. Closer stuck in his own Cataclysm will die. Jojo barely gets away over the wall looking for the chicken pit as Ssumday cuts Vulcan up. Goes in after Danny. Doesn't matter how many items you got, man. 2 hits, you're dead. Impact now stuck in the middle here. He'll take FBI with him, trying to stand and fight, but it's only Jojo versus 3 now. 100 Thieves march it down mid.
Good attempt here from the Evil Geniuses, but 100 Thieves put him back in the dirt. Impact's Ssumday's looking to finish what he started here, and only Jojo remains.
Jojo will have to do...
you were saying, my friend.
On the victory march, completely unopposed. The inhibitors fall. Nexus turrets are gone. 19-7. The Thieves complete the heist and they rob the Geniuses blind. GG.
Definitely a fun one there. 100 Thieves, really, really good job sticking to their game plan. Ssumday, constant pressure, played the Tryndamere extremely well. They also had really good options for the later stages. As we highlighted, way better wave control. Viktor constantly going to be scaling up as this doomsday obstacle you're going to have to deal with. The damage is inevitably going to be there, but it was really enabled by the map play.
Yeah, the map play was phenomenal. We were talking about how Jojo needed to be able to assassinate people, but then my mind immediately goes back to that bottom side river fight near the Drake pit where Ssumday spots him out, stops him from being able to find the flank. And the team play there from 100 Thieves, I just liked it from everybody. We got to see a really good look. Unfortunately for Evil Geniuses, they just did not have an answer to this strategy.
Yeah, plus we got the huhi redemption set right back onto it. He had a much better play in the bottom side in the river. In the 4v5, they get the kill, they get out. They allowed Ssumday to split push versus nobody up there. That's where he really started getting the influx of gold. Bunch of money into him for the top turret, farming against nobody. You always love to see that when you're split pushing and your team is winning on the weak side, outnumbered.
Oh, that feels so good. The game at that point just feels free. They might as well be paying you for it. Like, that is the best feeling in the world. Ssumday just continued. Like, the man knows how to play pretty much everything in League of Legends, right? The guy's world class. And the rest of the team around him being able to facilitate this, him being able to respond, and again, play to the team the few times that he needs to, and then still do that split push style. Yeah. It's a lot of fun to watch.
I especially like what this game means for 100 Thieves as a team moving forward, because people were very ready to put them back in the box. We've even heard coaches of other teams actually predict that 100 Thieves are going to finish low because of similar problems to last year and just being a very predictable bottom side team. They already won with the Ornn. Everyone's like, great job. You won with a bottom side focus Ssumday on Ornn. Now they won with him split push with Tryndamere Hullbreaker.
Hey, man, they're switching it up. 100 Thieves collect their first win of the weekend, and now we'll be joining LeTigress on stage with Ssumday himself for a Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. This was the Ssumday show here for 100 Thieves today. What a performance. In fact, you were player of the game, so I wanted to get your thoughts. How do you feel you performed in the way of applying so much map pressure throughout?
I think I played kind of well that game, but overall, we kind of made some mistake as a team, so we have to keep improve.
A couple of moments there where EG were starting to push back a bit. Were you worried at all, for instance, about Jojo on the Assassin trying to get a lot of really significant picks?
I didn't really worry about that because I was stronger than him.
What was it like playing this Tryndamere, though, compared to the casters just talking about the Ornn duty in the past and really having this be about you?
It's kind of fun because sometimes you just don't think and just keep going in and then you just hit them and you just kill everyone.
Yeah, hit them good and get the job done. I know that you're looking to string together some wins for 100 Thieves. You face Golden Guardians and FlyQuest next. Golden Guardians had a crazy game earlier with the base race. FlyQuest undefeated thus far. So thoughts on those opponents?
We just have to prepare well ourselves because we lost yesterday against IMT because we made misplay, so we just keep improve. Then it's gonna be good for us.
Ready for some Enchanter tops, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll keep an eye out someday. Thank you so much for the interview.
you.
All right, more on this 100 Thieves victory at the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much. 100 Thieves get the better of EG this time around to move 3-1. We're going to dive straight into it with champions like Huhi back on the set.
Let's
Glad
go.
to see they went for it, even though it wasn't successful the last time they played it.
Yeah, so not only is it like, okay, I'm just going to get back on this champion, but it is farming set. It really showcases how Huhi is able to go for these engages. One of the things that even when 100 Thieves were playing Enchanters well in the bot lane, it was still evident that they rely a lot on Huhi's game sense and initiation sense. It's something that's carried over from when he was a mid laner, and on the set pick, you can see that specifically.
Yeah, and last year, I just thought that 100 Thieves were the best Senna team. Because they were the type of team that would be far more flexible with a lot of these things. Remember, they tried Senna's Ziggs and Galio and all these things. So when the Senna nerf came through, that's essentially forcing her into the support position. You know, if there's one team that's going to be picking it up, it's going to be 100 Thieves. And so the fact that we get to see this strategy a day after, you know, Sett takes ownership of like that loss that they had, it's great to see that they're still willing and flexible and pushing for the pick because it's his best.
Yeah, and definitely as a rebound to what FBI had said, feeling that they were the ones who had dropped the ball yesterday, but still willing to get back on that horse and give it another go. All that said, Jat, we're going to isolate a singular moment in this game as being fairly fairly indicative, or rather meaningful in terms of the end result.
Yeah, the game was pretty slow, so it ended up being a bit of eye contact towards the river in mid lane here, and Impact does get caught while trying to get here, but I'm pretty sure he thought he was going to sidestep this stun, because pixel to pixel, it looks like he's off, but once he actually gets rooted by the Viktor W, that's the go button for 100 Thieves, and they pick up enough kills that they get Baron and Dragon off this.
Yeah, both this situation and the top lane fight that resulted in the killing of Tahm Kench, like, 100 Thieves just had so much vision control. They always had first control of objective. It made it so much harder for Evil Genius to ever fight into them. I thought Closer had an exceptional game, being able to start fights, keep alive, keep the fights interesting. If a champion has flash, force Tahm Kench to be in a bad position to use his ultimate and save somebody. So it's one of those drawn-out fights that Evil Geniuses were trying to find an angle and just couldn't.
And another thing I want to point out is obviously player of the game, Ssumday, on the Tryndamere. So Tryndamere is not even necessarily something I thought he'd play. And then previously, yesterday, I was pretty critical of 100 Thieves' side lane pressure, right? There were several times where they were kind of grouping up and didn't like have the side lane pressure that you kind of needed to be going for the plays they were making. Ssumday had like permanent side lane pressure, and then when he was flanking for team fights, he was just bulldozing over everyone.
And in this case, he best Impact. So whereas out of 39 games, he had lost 26 of them before, he adds another one in the win column, and we'll continue to track that head-to-head all season long. Now, during the 2022 Spring Split, you can use your MasterCard to make a purchase from the in-client store and save your card on file to be entered for a chance to win a trip to a League of Legends event or a set of 9 Player of the Week statues and a MasterCard prepaid card. So, while you ponder where exactly you're going to put all 9 of those statues, because that's quite a few statues, I would need some
like
extra
a whole shelf.
Shelving space. Exactly. Well, you've got some time maybe
include
to
the shelf?
install one. I'll talk to
shelf.
my contacts at MasterCard, and we'll see if we can get you a 9-statue shelf along with it. Either way, we're heading to a break. When we return, it's Team Liquid taking on an undefeated FlyQuest. We'll see you here.
Make sure
to go for the voyage, and he knocks up 2. FBI's back over the wall. Vulcan shot to pieces from the railgun of FBI. They've got the re-engage coming out from Huhi here on the flank as Jojo tries to find the assassination, but now he's into the Zonias himself. Shut down over onto the Ezreal, coming out for Ssumday, and Inspired can't get a damn thing. 100 Thieves just got free, and Inspired just got baited. Well, they're going to move forward now. Inspired again, trapped in the Cataclysm. Wind becomes lightning, but it can't keep him alive. Ssumday goes on a killing spree, and he is not stopping. 702 damage. Crit get hit. Ssumday leading the charge.
What is going on?
I can't afford streaming anymore, so...
Sure you can. State Farm has rates that fit your budget.
Oh, good. Because some true crime would be nice.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.